Hey guys, how are we doing? Crypto Insight UK here, bringing you back another video. So, what are we looking at today? There's a lot going on in the markets again. Yesterday we actually saw a bit of a bounce, and I was highlighting this yesterday morning, explaining why I thought this could be possible. We're starting to see some bullish divergences on the larger time frame here. This is Bitcoin that we're looking at, but we also flagged those bullish divergences across different alts. I'm going to get into a few of those different ones in this video, like XRP. But first off, I want to just talk about this, which is the liquidity for Bitcoin. We've talked about liquidity pools many times on my channel, but for those who are new, very simply and easily, the areas of dense liquidity, so in this case, orange and obviously red is the densest, they're areas of interest where people in leverage positions get stopped out of those positions. 80% of the time, price moves into those areas of dense liquidity because it's manipulated by bots or high frequency trading algorithms to move those prices around. So I just showed you there. Actually, I'll just go back. Actually, no, I won't. So on the daily time frame, what you can see, if this loads, is that we actually have much denser liquidity above us than we do below. There is still a small area of orange down between, that's formed actually down between 66 and $69,000 Bitcoin. So is there potential that we head down there? Maybe. However, looking above us, it's much more dense, up towards all the way up to about $130,000 Bitcoin, as I've been saying for a while. Before we moved into the 88K range and below, which is where this liquidity started here, and then obviously now we've bottomed so far about 76, 77,000. I was saying that I didn't know if we'd come down, but it was inevitable at some point that we'd go up to 130. It's exactly what I still feel. Add that on to the Fear and Greed Index. This is using CoinMarketCap's Fear and Greed Index. We're at 90 today, extreme fear, and we've been in fear for a month or so now, whilst price is at 70,000 or 77,000, I said was the bottom. If we use the alternative Fear and Greed, we're actually only in fear today, whereas yesterday we were in extreme fear, and last week we were also in extreme fear, and the month also lines up with fear in general. But if we take these readings and compare them to where else we've been this cycle, even when the Japanese yen carry trade was unwinded and Bitcoin's price at 54,000, if we use CoinMarketCap's Fear and Greed Index, we only got down to like a 35 on fear. Now we're nearly half that at 19, and the price is at 70,000, 78,000, 77,000. So as I keep saying, I want to just reiterate it again, this is an extreme value zone. Risk reward is massively to the upside here. Does it mean that we're at the lows? No. Dollar cost averaging here has got to be a good shout in terms of like historical price action. Whether it means that we're in a bear market or not, like I really don't think so. I could be wrong. There's a lot changing in terms of like macroeconomics, but I don't think we are at all. And any time that you get offered like a 19 sentiment, especially when prices are pretty high, it's pretty decent. At this stage in the cycle is pretty decent. With that in mind, talking about liquidity, I've talked about it a little bit. Definitely think you should go and check out Cross Border Capital's recent video on the Bitcoin layer, where Michael Howell, who's a specialist in liquidity, talks about how the Fed will have to revert to QE. He thinks that they're basically delusional at the minute. Talks about bank reserves, saying that isn't enough money in the legacy financial system, and the need to basically spruce up markets in general, either by lowering rates, but here he's saying literally by reverting to QE, so adding money to the system is probably the only thing they can do. So riding out this short-term pain at some point is going to turn into a large push to the upside, in my opinion, and I back that up with another tweet here, which is where I said, because Metaplanet bought another 162 Bitcoin, and another company which isn't MicroStrategy bought some Bitcoin the day before, and I've been tweeting about this daily, not including nation states. Anyway, let me just get into this. I'm jumping around my thoughts, sorry. It says, we can see multiple companies drip buying Bitcoin, so taking the supply off the market. We've got a drawdown in wider markets currently, so I'm talking about equities as well there. Yet Europe and at some point China and the USA will change their stance on monetary policy and may even ease, as Michael Howell was just talking about in that previous tweet. The lack of supply plus increase in liquidity should equal explosive price action. This doesn't take into account nation states buying and if the USA follow through with their reserve. And yesterday, last night, before I went to bed, Michael Saylor tweeted big things are coming on the same day that Cynthia Loomis was talking about reintroducing her Bitcoin bill. And I don't know exactly how much Bitcoin they said they were going to buy. Like maybe 5% of supply, like 200,000 Bitcoin, I think, something like that. Let me just actually find that. So it's Loomis, because I don't want to be telling you guys something unfactual. I try to keep my thoughts and like facts separate. I'm sure I read it somewhere. If I can't see it, then I will just move on. But I'm sure she talked about what she's trying to buy. Maybe it's in her Bitcoin reserve. Big things are coming every day. Maybe someone else tweeted it and that was talking about the exact figures, but it's something like 200,000 Bitcoin, 5% of supply, or 100,000. I don't know, 20,000 a month or something. A lot of Bitcoin, anyway. Is the point. And the reason why there's like, even though it doesn't sound like a lot of the supply is already held by long-term holders. So it's just extra pressure in terms of demand on the markets, and when there's limited supply, extra pressure in terms of demand, like it leads to explosive price action. And that's one of the things that I've been trying to explain to you guys. So we've got liquidity showing that the market at some point are going to go up to 130,000. We've got fear and greed in extreme fear, the lowest we've been this cycle, even lower than when the Japanese yen carry trade started to unwind. And bullish divergences on pretty much all time frames, and we talked about this yesterday. Yes, there is still potentially some distance to come down to the top of this previous range, and I was fiddling around with this yesterday, so it's not quite accurate. So we could still come down a little bit further between, like, I'd say 69 and 74. But is that my base case? I thought it was too obvious, in all honesty, to come down to those figures. I thought everyone's looking for those, and often when everyone's looking for it, you don't get it. And to back that thought process up, we've seen XRP bounce off the bottom of the range, also creating bullish divergences here for XRP with a lower low in price action, higher low on the oscillator. That's on the daily time frame. Starting to try and break out of this downtrend on the short-term time frames, which is obviously within the range still, but on the hourly, really testing this descending trend line. Potentially can get a breakout of that today. Another thing that I would like to take into consideration, whether you put any weight on this or not, is up to you. I really don't know whether to put weight on it or not. But the insider who leveraged longed Bitcoin and ETH on a 50x before Donald Trump tweeted about the crypto reserve has again today leveraged longed Bitcoin and ETH and added to their portfolio to do so, again on a 50x. So is there some sort of announcement coming today around crypto? Is it going to be something to do with CPI, which is out later today? Again, I don't know, but some things that I wanted to remind you guys of. And people are moaning about the fact that like it's insider trading. Whether it is or it's not, like we obviously don't know. They could just pick a good trader and have got lucky. That's one thing. I mean, chances are it is probably some sort of insider trading. However, the other side of that is, what if they're doing that to signal something to us? Obviously, insider trading goes on in all markets. Like it or not, we can pretend that it doesn't happen, but it clearly does. That's how all politicians, not all, but like how many politicians create such a mass wealth for themselves while they're in positions of power. Are they signaling to us? Like, are they giving us a hint that because we can read the insider trading here? It's not like it's insider trading where no one can see what they're doing. We can actually see what they're doing. So is it like 5D chess and they're showing us what is going to happen next? And if we're paying attention, we can actually follow along, because we can never claim or find out who exactly it is unless they reveal their wallet. So are they basically just giving us a bit of an insight first, or are they just oblivious to the fact that we can see? People could argue either side of the spectrum, but if someone's telling me they know what's going to happen before the news comes out and they're literally showing us the trades they're going to place, are you going to moan about that and be angry or not? Like, that's up to you. Like, I don't know whether it's right, whether it's wrong or what, but are they doing this for a reason? That's one thing that I would like to take into consideration. With this being said, obviously our CRV buys are looking pretty good. This was our first buy line. We also bought into these areas here. We spoke about them live over there on X, completely free information. Never said I never talk about anything that's not free. Our Doge long is about break even, and we got stopped out of our XLM long yesterday. Unfortunately, our Doge long we purchased here. And XRP ETH, XRP Bitcoin, XRP dominance looking pretty good. XRP ETH is battling resistance again right now, but if we look on the weekly time frame, this thing looks like it's about to get sendy to me. Stochastic RSI bounced off the oversold area, potentially looking to turn back to the green at resistance, like our last resistance level, really well between here and here, our main little resistance areas that we've got left. I think the next leg is going to be explosive for XRP. It's why one of the reasons I've been saying $5 XRP in March. Obviously, we're ticking through March, and I've been known to be early, but this is one of the indicators that I was using even back here to say, look, XRP is creeping up before we got the big explosion. It's kind of feels like this now. Look, we're creeping up, we're creeping up, we're creeping up. Yeah, maybe there's a bit of a pullback, but we could be creeping up, creeping up, creeping up. This could be the consolidation pullback before the big candles come, as they did in December. Could we start to see something like that again soon when we start to break this resistance level? I presume they're the sort of candles that we see. They're the candles I'd like to see as well. That's why I said that, because we did the majority of our move from 55 cent to like 270 in the space of about 3 to 4 weeks. And so if we did a few 100% move from here, we'd obviously be, say we do 300% move, it's obviously towards $10 mark. So easily could be at $5 within a month or so, should we start the move sooner rather than later. XRP Bitcoin sitting at resistance. We haven't spent much time like this at resistance before. We've created a series of higher lows. All these times here when we've been hitting resistance, we've basically just fallen down, whereas XRP in this scenario in the weekly is getting closer and closer to breaking that resistance, holding higher lows. It looks very different structurally than it has before, and similar with XRP dominance. We've broken out the first range, we came back, we back tested it, and now again looking to test that area before potentially breaking out. This is the area between 12.5% and 14% that I'll be probably looking to start deleveraging some of my XRP position. Obviously, it's going to depend on market dynamics as well, but that's definitely an area that I'm looking at heavily. Or concentrating on, so I'll keep you guys up to date with what's going on there. And XRP on the weekly time frame against the dollar, nothing's changed. XRP looks really strong, especially like structurally in comparison to the market. With again consolidating above like at $2. We've never seen this before for XRP for a prolonged period of time. We're retesting the previous range high, holding that support currently, waiting for that next leg up. So if all these things come together at once, I can imagine some explosive price action coming for XRP specifically. Will I be right? Time will tell. The RSI on the weekly is completely cooled off. The stochastic RSI is in the oversold area. We're waiting for this next leg up now and hoping it comes with some explosive price action for XRP, taking us up to those $8 to $12 range. Well, I said 13-ish was potentially my top, but $8 to $12 would be absolutely fantastic. And that is what I'm looking for, whether people like it or not. I know people are going to give me shit in the comments. I don't really care. It's what I think. And I've been wrong before. But let's see what happens next. I'll quickly check on Bitcoin dominance before we sign off for today. But no, nothing's really changed Bitcoin dominance. It's still grinding up in the same way that it has been. I do think, and I have said that I think that this will roll over at some point, especially when we take into consideration the DXY pulling back. Like, these are normally the foundations for a crypto run. So this is a lagging factor, or crypto lags the weakness in DXY often, as we spoke about yesterday. But if we take into consideration that the DXY is coming down, Bitcoin dominance is still grinding up. Do we have the spike into the previous area at 67% before alt season can start, or do we start to break down from this level? No idea. But with the strength of the XRP chart compared to pretty much everything else, I'm really watching XRP. I think it's going to continue to lead this market, and hopefully sooner rather than later, because everyone's getting a bit sad in the comments, and I understand why. It's not easy, but these dips are for buying in a bull market. I'll keep you up to date with this if I see anything else, but as far as everything else goes today, that's the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed. Please do share with a friend if you did enjoy. Hit that subscribe button, completely free to do. Dropping a like also helps, and putting something in the comments. It helps me as well, but also I try to respond to as many comments as I can. Peace up, A-Town down, as Crypto Insight UK would say.